transforms our body more and more into a high-energy, spiritual, refined substance. And when we transmute our body this way, through prayer and meditation and whatever other things that you do spiritually, like spiritual study,
right,
then you become luminaries. We become the great luminaries of our generation.
Why are there so many different religions or religious philosophies around the world? Why can't there just be one?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that make it so simple?
It might or it might not. It might take out the variety. You know, sometimes we get motivated by variety and things like that. So it was like if you had the same rice and beans every day, some people it's fine. Some people it's fine. Or if you have caviar every single day, I've never had it, I'm vegetarian, but it might become difficult after a few years of having it every day.
Well, do you know what my favorite vegetable is? Chocolate.
Asparagus?
No, chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, chocolate,
Yeah.
right. Well,
but you know what?
You get raw chocolate is very, very good for you.
I know it is, but you were right. My favorite vegetable is asparagus, so that was good.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Why did you decide to do what you're doing at this specific time in this world of ours?
Okay, well, the book was actually written almost 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the book, if I had it together, would have been published maybe 8 years ago. But I never felt it was finished. It's very difficult to feel one is finished with a book. One wants the best possible book. But the time is getting rough. From the corporations to government leaders and all of this, there is a lot of suffering. There's a lot of power going on that's misguided. And we can change that. We really can. When we come together, like I said, with many, many people doing it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, pray, generate love and compassion, and pray that all the leaders of the governments, of religions, of the corporate and finance worlds, of all worlds who have an influence on others, for them to be cleansed of negative qualities, of negative motivations, for God to bless them in their hearts that they can exude their power in compassion and benevolence to everyone.
We need a massive cleansing.
Yes,
basically.
Exactly. Internal cleansing will lead to external cleansing. So the environment will be cleansed as much as we can do our own heart and mind cleansing.
Gotcha. What is your greatest challenge in doing what you're doing with Project Prayer?
The greatest challenge is I really just want to go back into 18 hours a day of my spiritual practices and not interact on a global level. But because my spiritual teacher pushed me to do this, I'm going to put my best effort forward for 5 or 10 years and try to do something that will help. And I have no idea if it will galvanize people in the millions, which I hope, or not. It might not.
But at least you're doing something positive. You're taking a step and saying, listen, world, let's make this a better place. We can do it, but it'll take a lot of people to make it happen. And you know what? I have never doubted the power of prayer. I have never doubted that.
Exactly.
Because that's why when you go to a church and you get all these people praying together, you can move mountains.
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
Oh, for sure.
Metaphorically, of course.
Yeah, and through prayer, there's all kinds of miracles, minor miracles and major miracles in all avenues, from healing to success to spiritual success. Everything can happen.
With the new pontiff in Rome, in the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Francis, is his attitude, which I consider to be very positive. He's a pope for the people, by the people. He's reaching out to people that, gosh, he even called a lady in Argentina who couldn't get answers from her own parish priest, wrote to the Vatican, and he called her up and said, yes, my child, you can actually do it, So is this the start of something great when it comes to religion and bringing the world together?
Yes. And like I say, is many people are doing good things like this. Like I'm a insignificant person, but I'm going to give what I can for this. You know what I mean? And greater people like the Pope and all kinds of great spiritual leaders are helping. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for decades and decades, he is a selfless servant of people, of everyone becoming happier.
So my philosophy on life has just been validated by you. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And who wants to be part of a problem?
Yeah, exactly.
How many people or how many countries are actively involved in Project Prayer right now?
Well, we just opened it up, I think, 2 weeks ago, maybe just 1 week ago, actually. So we have people from Europe, of course, North America, and I don't keep in touch with my assistant who's actually mapping this, but I think it's reaching out to some people in Africa. I mean, I have a lot of clients internationally in Africa, Japan, and other places, so it's reaching them. The clients and students, but it's also reaching out where there's no connection.
For those religious philosophies who don't have the same virtues and values as you do and practices as most other religions do, how do you or how do I or how do we as the world kind of say, listen, why don't we just try this? It can't hurt, if you don't want to believe, but just give it a try. Do we reach out to them and bring them in?
Yeah, one can be as skeptical as they want to be because that does not block you from getting the results and the experiences and the maturity as a human being. It's just if you're closed-minded, that's the only factor. You want to just be open-minded, but you can be 100% skeptical, and I invite that with people. But we need to understand that our life isn't only just in this world, that the spiritual realm exists, and it's been proven over and over again in various ways through, I don't want to go into how, but and research those things. But there are the heavenly realms that exist that people have had near-death experiences.
All right, let's talk about that when we come back from this news break. Exo Nation, Paramahansa Jagadish is my special guest, www.prayer-project.com. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back, everyone. My guest this hour is Parmahansa Jagadish. His website is www.prayer-project.com. That's prayer-project.com. Great having you with us. I love your positive attitude. I love the way that you're willing to say, hey, come on, gang, let's get together. Let's do something. Let's pray 3 times a day, 3 minutes. So it's 3 by 3. Doesn't take very much out of your life, but look at the change that we can accomplish if we all do this. Hats off to you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. One thing is that what we'll notice is we're going to be increasing our own love, quality of love in our lives by doing it. So after a while of doing this, your life is going to become so much more joyous and happy and filled with love.
You know, that it seems that every major swing in society is based on love. Look at well, let's go back to the 60s and the hippies and Haight-Ashbury and what happened when, you know, it was realized what was going on in Vietnam, how society said, listen, we need more love. The Beatles, all you need is love. You know, why don't we learn? Why don't we finally get the message?
Well, I don't know. Some people say this is why we're on the planet, that this is a planet to work these things out and for people to learn, like we're in the 3rd grade or something. So that could be part of it. The other thing is the ambassadors of love. We want to understand love in a humanistic way, like the 60s portrayed, but we also want to cultivating love in a humanistic way. Mm-hmm. At the very highest level of that begins the level of divine love. So we want love ambassadors to be existing who have tasted the divine love and then can influence people that way.
I've got a very basic question for you. Why does prayer work?
I think because it humbles our mood, and when we're humble, all good things come to us. I think there's something like that going on. Otherwise, it's a galvanizing force for clarity and concentration. So it eventually, as you get proficient, you can move mountains in that way with prayer.
How can we best prepare for prayer? Do we need to meditate? Do we need to partake in any ritual? Or should we just stop, go down deep in our hearts and say, and then ask for whatever it is we need to ask for in a prayer?
Yeah, that is it, and it helps to focus our mind. So sometimes we want to maybe take a break where we breathe in just a few times, in a deep inhale and exhale. And we could read any kind of scriptural verse or the life of any saints of any of the traditions or mystical poetry, etc., and then go into the prayer. Eventually the